Hello, my name is Chris Kirkwood. Welcome to K Fresh at Rimswell. I've been producing eggs here at Rimswell for the last 40 years using all the systems: free range, barn, cages outside, battery cages inside, and now I've been involved in the development of the colony system over the last 8 to 10 years. It's quite an exciting time because what we have here is, without a shadow of doubt, with all of the knowledge that I've gained over the last 40 years, the most welfare-friendly way of keeping poultry, and that is within the colony system. And what I want to do here is show you exactly what the colony system is, and I'll try and describe that over the next few minutes. At this moment in time, you're seeing a colony system under construction, so we will then move later and show you birds actually in the colony house. But here we have the colony system really runs from this point here to this point here and right the way through the whole block. That basically is the size of a snooker table. And within there we keep 60 birds. The stocking density is very, very similar to a barn unit or a free range unit within the house. So the stocking density is more or less the same. I've had all of the welfare groups over the years come and have a look at the development of this colony system, and it became apparent the reason that the colony system works so well is because of work that's been done by Compassionate World Farming, and they found that one bird can recognise up to and no more than 90 other birds. So the result of that is, if you keep your birds in groups of less than 90, then one bird will recognise all of her sisters within the colony, and then you have got a family and you have got complete harmony. And you'll find when we go into the colony house and you listen to the birds, there is no squawking, there is no pecking that is going on. The birds are completely at peace. Description of the colony system. Once again, it goes from this point here to that point there. And within each colony there are perches, and the birds can perch within these various perches. There is enough room for every bird to perch. There is also nest boxing areas with astroturf so that the birds can lay their eggs within a dark area on the astroturf, and then the eggs roll away cleanly onto an egg belt system, which then takes them to the packing centre. So the belts are kept clean and free of feces, etc. There are 2 nest boxes in each colony. A nest box at this side here and a nest box at this side. It has been strategically placed like that so that then the next colony is a mirror image of the earlier colony, with the perches and the other facilities going away that way. Now there is a reason why we do that, is because we have found over the period of time that the birds like to lay their eggs in the darkest place in the colony. So what we do is we position the lighting furthest away from the nest box so that the birds will be in the darkest place in the colony. And we find that 95–98% of all eggs that are laid within the colony are laid within those nest boxing areas. Furthest away from the nest box, we have a astroturf area here, which is classed as the dusting mat, and there is a tube that runs through between the 2 dusting mats, one at the far side, one at this side, and that deposits material 3 or 4 times a day onto that mat, and then the birds can exhibit their natural behaviour in dusting themselves and scratching. birds always look towards the sun when they're practicing this activity, and so we position the lights here opposite the dusting mats so that they then scratch backwards, keeping the material on the mat for a much longer period of time. We have within the colony also areas whereby the birds, which are just placed behind the feed trough here, where they can shorten their claws, because as they're feeding they tend to scratch and then it shortens their claws. This is the feed conveyor here, which brings clean feed to them from our own mill mix plant and deposits it in front of all of the birds 5 times a day. So these are the nipple drinkers. The birds drink from these nipple drinkers. They can touch the stainless steel nipple from 360 degrees and are drinking absolutely perfectly clean drinking water that you and I would drink. The result of all of this sort of hygiene is the fact that the birds are completely healthy. We have the lowest mortality levels of any system that there is, by far, by a huge amount in some instances compared to other systems. Because the birds are drinking clean water and because they're eating absolutely clean feed coming directly from the mill mix plant, we have very, very healthy birds. We don't have to feed them wormers because they're not in contact with their own feces and the soil. We don't have to feed them any coccidiostats, coccidiocides, any antibiotics. The birds that you're going to see have been fed no drugs whatsoever. They are absolutely healthy with a very, very, very low mortality. And it's because of that I can say, using all of the parameters that the RSPCA use in the freedom of the birds, is the most welfare-friendly system of producing eggs in the world. Inside a colony house. Now what I ask everybody when they come into the colony house is to actually just take a little bit of time and listen to the birds. You will hear there's no aggression, all you'll hear are birds singing and talking away, and that's because of the system, the fact that every bird within the colony recognises their sister from week 1 when the birds are put in there, so they're completely contented. Experimental work has been done by DEFRA to find out as to which system has the happiest birds, the least stressed birds, and I can tell you that the colony system came out number 1. I want to explain the lighting system, and earlier I told you about the lighting and it's opposite the dusting areas, the nest boxes furthest away, the darkest area. Another aspect of the lighting that I've found is that we use what's called dawn to dusk lighting. By using dawn to dusk lighting, in the evening the lights gently dim. The birds recognise that the lights are dimming, they then go and have a drink, they then go and have something to eat, and then they find a position on a perch. This enables the birds to give them time to find a position on the perch for the night. And 95% of all birds perch for the night. In the morning, once again, like the sun getting up, the lights come up very, very gently. The birds then have time to wake up, like you and I in the morning, ruffle the feathers, preen themselves before they jump off the cloud and they go about their daily activities. So the dawn to dusk lighting is a very, very important part of the colony system. So rounding up on a number of points as to why the colony system is the most welfare-friendly way of keeping birds. Number one, we have the lowest mortality. Number two, we don't have to use drugs. Number three, we have the best feathered birds of all systems at the end of lay. Number four, we have birds with the lowest mortality. Number five, we emulate all the different things with regard to the requirements of a bird in her natural behaviour.